Hello, I'm Michael Boyajian, and you probably just saw the first video I did, which was of three that I'm going to do today. The first one was about my father's service in World War II in the Army Air Corps as a radio man. He was there for the duration of the war. An Armenian friend who's a genealogist. And if you're looking for genealogy information in Armenian, give me a holler. I can set you up with this guy. He's terrific. In 2 minutes, he found what I couldn't find for years, which was my father's enlistment papers. But anyhow, he arrived in North Africa in around April after enlistment and training, and which was pretty much the beginning of the war, considering I think this December, the prior December was when Pearl Harbor occurred. But anyhow, what led me to him was I had been working on the family tree for my late wife, Jerry. Her family had one done traditional style back in the 1970s, handwritten, big giant roll of paper, with everything written out and handwritten, old school. And again, the research was old school. There was no ancestry then that you could push a button like you can today. Anyhow, I took the family tree, which went back to 1400, and didn't really specify anything in great detail, with the focus really being on connecting the family to the American Revolution. You got to remember, we're about the time of the bicentennial in the 70s. 1976 was the bicentennial. So they're in that time frame there. Everyone's in a patriotic frenzy. And they found 4 members of the family did serve in the American Revolution. In fact, one was serving right here where we live in Fishkill, oddly enough. We didn't learn that until a few years ago, many years after we moved up here. But yes, that was the father who was the American Revolution soldier, and then there were 3 of his sons. Jerry was connected directly to the father, not to the 3 sons. The son that she was connected to did not serve. But anyhow, that's besides the point. Again, we took the family tree back to 200 AD using Ancestry. Just an amazing push of a button. And I started out by paralleling the original family tree, so I knew I was doing the right course. But anyhow, so here we are. We're looking for all these connections. Charlemagne, the admiral who founded the Huguenots and was the first one killed when the massacre occurred of the Huguenots, on and on and on. World War II, World War I, the Civil War. They had 2 members of the family in the Civil War, both Union soldiers, both served at Gettysburg. One survived it, one did not. And anyhow, just go back, Judith of Bavaria, and the first European baby born in the New World, things like that. Anyhow, right under our noses is my father-in-law, quietly, and we knew his career, we knew what he did, quietly cooking hamburgers while this is all going on, not mentioning anything, and when his brother, Uncle George, came over, they were both barbecuing burgers, not paying much attention to the family tree. Well, what we had right under our nose with my father-in-law, Gus, and Uncle George hanging over the barbecue, cooking up those burgers, old style with charcoal, was that these 2 guys were engineers at Grumman Aerospace assigned to the lunar lander, which was essential for getting the 2 astronauts, from the capsule to the surface of the moon, where they were the first humans to walk on the surface of the moon. Neil Armstrong was the first one down, made the famous quote, and then he was followed by Buzz Aldrin. And Jerry and I were lucky enough to be in Central Park one year when Buzz Aldrin was speaking, and he looked great, by the way. He still looks great. He's on my Facebook page, and he's still running around like crazy. But his big quote then was, "It took us 10 years to get to the moon, and in the following 30, we've gone nowhere." which gives you the time frame of when it was. We were in the 90s, I guess, in the park. And to this day, I regret not walking up to him and shaking his hand. He was only 10 feet away from me. It was a very informal gathering. But what are you going to do? Anyhow, so here it is. My father-in-law and his brother, right below our noses. And we're looking all over for kings and princes and soldiers and stuff. And here's two guys that worked on the biggest achievement in the annals of human history, which was walking on the moon. And I guess it didn't dawn on us until they restarted the space program, the moon program here in the United States with the Artemis project, which just got back from a mission a few weeks ago, successful. And they expect in 2 or 3 years to have people walking on the moon, okay? Men, women, people of color, that's going to be the selection. And it's going to be terrific. But anyhow, so there it is. My father-in-law, part of the biggest thing in human history, which was walking on the moon. You can argue with that, but there's no way you're going to win that argument. And it wasn't a Hollywood creation. There's no way my father-in-law and Cherry's Uncle George were carrying on this script along with about 50,000 other people from the government, the military, the corporations, etc. were carrying on this script that it was a fake. And there's no way it could have happened. So it would have cost 50 times more money than the entire space program. Anyhow, and the name of this book is Moonshot, the Gus Wagner story, which is my father-in-law's name, my late father-in-law, and a terrific guy, and you made good burgers. And one other story that I will tell, I'll give you a little peek about how heroic this book is. The Apollo 13 mission, which my mother-in-law, Marilyn, gave me an official mission patch for, had a mishap near the moon, and they could not get back in the capsule. And so an elaborate plan came to being, and it intricately involved my father-in-law and Grumman. It was to use the lunar lander to get back to Earth, and it worked. But and if you've ever seen a lunar lander, the skin is like tinfoil. It's very thin, In any case, during the mission to get the three astronauts back, my late wife Jerry and her older sister Stacy went up to the father and said, "Is it going to work? Are they going to get back safely?" And Gus hugged his children, Jerry and her sister Stacy, and said, "It had never been tested for such a mission, but it will work," and it did. And Happy New Year. Happy 2023. See you soon. Bye.